Hey everybody, welcome to the Art of Relationship show. Going to be talking about differences, or it's just different in a relationship. Instead of, do you go back and forth? Do you argue right and wrong? And also, we're going to talk about if you're having a bad day, an off day. It's been a rough couple of days for me personally. So, what do you need in those situations? One person might think they want to hug you, and you might want space and be left alone. So we're going to be talking about this right after this, so don't go anywhere. Be right back with the Art of Relationship show. Hey, welcome back to the Art of Relationship show. I'm your host, Greg, as always, talking about differences in relationships. And it's very difficult. You know, I hear it on a daily basis with couples going on, and, you know, that they argue right and wrong. And it's a competition versus what if it's just difference and you have a difference of thought processes, right? You're not the same type of person that you are together, right? Maybe if you were, you'd clash, right? So you look at different attitudes and different, belief aspects. What do you do to come together? And what do you do to try to understand that you might have different views, but number one, do you learn from one another? And number two, you know what? Does it mean that you're not loved and not desired, that you're not respected? And those are very difficult situations to be able to go after. And remember, you can join in the chat down below, people, and looking at the differences of opinions and differences. A lot of people get very defensive, okay? They take things very personal from one another, and they view it as a huge attack. And there is a difference, let's be real, where one person is trying to attack the other one, the you statements. You done this, you do this, you haven't done, right? Almost like you're being berated by an old school boss and you're the employee, or, you're the tyrant parent, one, and the other one is like the child getting wham-basted and getting, just verbally bashed. And I'm not for that, not at all, right? So you have a difference of opinion. It could be anything, right? What your favorite food is, what your sports team is, music, that type of situation. And it gets more dicey when it comes into what your differences are on money, finances, right? What your differences on parenting style. What about your differences on sex, about sex styles and sex frequencies? Is there a balance? And this is where I try to get couples, what is good enough, right? What is good enough for you both? But a lot of things, when you take things differently in the high, we'll say the high emotional state zones, right, that people come across, sex, money, parenting, boundaries with in-laws, friends, that type of aspect, right? Especially with the holidays coming up, that, what are you going to do? How are you going to spend time? And there's a lot of arguments and a lot of aspects that go on that create a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety with couples in life. Let's be real. Okay. Hey, Cheryl, I appreciate you. Right. Yeah. Anyone join in the chat, and I'd love to hear your comments, your, feedback, everything. I'm all flustered today. I just got, started the show, or set up 2 minutes before I went live. It's been a rough couple of days. So, looking at, going on the differences, and are you able to balance and look at what do you need in a situation? And you're not taking things, defensively, that you're not taking things personal all the time because your partner disagrees with you, or maybe we'll flip it around, that you disagree with your partner, and all of a sudden pretty soon either one of you are going after that you feel like you're not loved anymore, you're not respected, you're not even liked anymore because, oh my God, my partner, let's face it, they disagree with me, right? No, you can have a difference of opinion. It's working together and be able to solve that, right? Nobody is in my office when things are going great. everything's terrific, everything's great in a relationship, I don't see anybody. Let's be honest, right? It's usually when problems occur or the shit hit the fan. That's when I see people in my office. And a big thing is, you know what, is when there's differences and how you manage those and how you balance those, how you work as a team on those differences. That's what makes a relationship or a marriage success and being healthy and happy, that type of situation. And if there's differences in a relationship, that doesn't mean one person has to bow down to the other one, right? Do you feel like the differences in decision making in your relationship or in your marriage are, you know what? Do you think that they're pretty fair? They're equal, they're equitable, that type of situation? Or do you feel like one person in the relationship gets their way all the time, right? The old saying, happy wife, happy life. Yeah, right? It's okay if she's happy, but if the husband or boyfriend's miserable, that means it's still a happy, healthy relationship. I don't look at things that way, right? One person can be very, very happy in a relationship or marriage, and the other one is miserable. That's not a happy or healthy relationship at all. And if the other person don't care about the other one being miserable, that's sort of selfish. Let's be real. So going back to, differences, how do you work together? How do you manage those situations? A lot of people just love to argue, love to win, love to be heard just for the sake of it. And they might not even care about the decision being made, right? It's all about winning, all about ego, all about pride. If you really don't care who makes a decision or what that decision is, it could be what, colors you're going to paint a room or the house or decorating. It could be, yard work. One person wants bushes. One person wants, a tree instead of bushes. Some people might not want any bushes. Whatever it is in a, decision making. Or you have kids, right, with parenting dynamics. Maybe one parent doesn't want the kid to do any chores. You boy. Don't even get me going there. And the other one wants them to do a lot of chores. So is there a middle ground? And you look at what is your belief systems? Why do you disagree with me? And can you ask that? And it's not to be judgmental. Hey, hon, can you tell me, what are you thinking? I want to know why you disagree with me. And you can learn together. Hey, Mary, I appreciate you all the time. Thanks so much. And to be able to go after these type of situations, and why? Learn from each other, right? Learn. How come you disagree with me? You know what? And you might learn, your person or whatever is thinking, oh, I'm thinking of this or that or whatever. Oh, I never thought about that, right? Now you can learn together. And even if you still disagree, what do? Do you take turns, right? Everybody gets in you flip a coin, draw straws, that type of thing. But what if you flip a coin and you won 10 times in a row? Or you pick the long straw all the time and it's your decision and you do that 10 times in a row. Is that equitable or is that fair in your relationship? Are you able to take turns and be able to discuss when decisions are to be made? And we all know, right? When you can't reach an agreement on situations, do you look at it, do I still feel loved? Do I still feel respected? Do I still feel heard and understood? Those are key indicators that I want you to go after to be able to look at in your relationship or in your marriage. Again, it's not a right or wrong, people. It's looking at the situation about what is best that creates connection and not disconnect. Let's be honest, right? There are differences in marriage and relationships that are going to cause a marriage or relationship to end, okay? As I trip over my tongue, my apology. Those decisions, right, if you're at two opposites of the spectrum, right? Are there differences? You're going to have differences. But when differences are major, when it comes across the essence of who you are, and a lot of people have heard me say this before, the essence of who you are, and it just feels like you're not being yourself. You're not being true to yourself. And I'm not talking in a selfish way, not at all. Those differences are going to cause problems and probably make the relationship or marriage end, okay? And it could be sexual frequency. It could be one is a saver all the time, and the other one is, spend whatever, live for today and forget about tomorrow. That there are wide differences in those where it comes down to, is there a give and take? I'm all about that. Is there a good enough for both of you that you both feel respected and you both sort of get your way more times than you don't, okay? I look at a situation to get rid of a win in a lose situation, but to look at team building, look at what do you do to feel like you are being a team member, and the relationship comes first, and it's not always one person winning, one person losing, those type of situations, because those dynamics, when it comes to differences, are going to kill the relationship or marriage, okay? So, the big difference is, sex, let's throw that out there. Sex frequency, she wants it 6-7 days a week, and I said she, right? Everyone assumes it's a man, it isn't. And the other one wants it once every 5 months. Now, the difference, right? Chances are, what would be good enough for both of you, chances are it's not going to work, because it is such a vast difference on something that is very important to you, right? Now you look at going back to, parenting differences, or what color the room is. Maybe you could change decision making, right? No big deal. You could, hey, you paint our bedroom this color, you get to paint the kitchen or living room or bathroom that color, that type of situation. Is there a give and take in a situation? And you look at, right? Can you live with the decision, or does it cut across the essence of who you are, what your morals and what your values are, right? Decision making, one wants to be a swinger and the other one wants monogamy. Ain't gonna work, right? There's no middle ground there to go by. Those are what I'm talking about, relationship probably ending, because one of you or both of you are going to be miserable with what's going on, or one's going to be happy and the other one's miserable. It's not going to work long term. So you look at, those type of situations, what is doable, what is manageable, and you try to look at what is best for the relationship, number one. With parenting decisions, what is the best interest of the kids? And we could get into debates about that. Years ago, I used to specialize in severe trauma in kids and teens, and a lot of people don't know that. Or you get into parenting differences. You know what? I was raised this way. I was raised this way. And I'm going to let my kid make their own decisions and get their way all the time. And I'm like, oh, no. And the other one is more, authoritarian, that is demanding, belittling. Not at all. So you look at, what is in the best interest of the kid? Is it about you getting your way, or is it actually what you feel or what you think might be a better and what you believe is in the best interest of the kids? And if you don't know, get help, right? You might think this is in the best interest of the kid because of what you believe, how you were raised and everything. And it might not work for your child. So, put the pride and ego away and be willing to learn and to be able to understand what is going on in your relationship, what is going on in your marriage, and why, number one, where are all the differences coming from? Is it a belief system? Is it because maybe, what do I want to say, expectations? You're assuming one way, but it's turning out to be something else because there is no communication, right? And it's very difficult talking about communication when there's differences. One person wants to work it out all the time, right? And the other person wants to just sit back, rest, wants to sort of put their turtle head, away and hide, and nothing gets resolved. That's going to create a lot of frustration, and that's a difference of how you communicate and how you manage problems, right? Maybe one wants to try to force feed everything down the other one's throat, and the other one is more reserved, more quiet, more, maybe trying to get away from any type of conflict. But that's where the other one needs to go to have a voice and to be able to be expressive, right? And the other one that sort of just bulldozes through the other one needs to calm down, needs to chill out a little bit and be able to listen to their partner, Okay. Those are differences that you can work on that can be managed. And I'm all about that. That's what I do on a daily basis in my office. Be able to look at, differences and how do you handle them. Sometimes it's, our pride and ego, let's be honest, get in the way. Sometimes we have a firm belief. What if one person wants to, smoke fatties, smoke, joints or, a bowl pot, and the other one totally hates any of that activity, right? And do you still look at, is that person bad if they do it? Does that mean you're not going to love them anymore? Or does that mean that's a lifestyle that you just are not going to live with or tolerate? Again, you're going to have a lot of people dictate to you what is right and what is wrong. It's how you work together and how do you manage the situation, right? Well, I hate, one person might not hate pot, right? The smell. I hate the odor, the smell. Oh my God, it's gross. And does the other one then go to edibles, gummies, that type of situation? Or one person is totally against drinking at all, and the other one likes having a drink or two now and then. Now, is there a balance? Does the drinking or the activity, does it cause problems in a relationship? Let's be honest, right? How does it affect your person? And you know what? Is it really a mindset or a philosophy? Or is it, again, a way of life that gets in the way? And those are serious questions where you need to reach out with someone reputable and someone that knows what the hell they're doing that are going to help you try to resolve those challenges and try to look at how do you blend those differences together and, work as a team. Hey, this is the problem. It's not you. It's not me. This is the problem. How do we go about it and solve it and work together and fixing it? Now, if one person in the relationship is always causing problems, now we got to look at the situation. Oh, now I get spam going on as ever. So, are you able to look at, what is in the best interest of the relationship? And are you able to look at, does your partner feel respected? And do they still feel understood? That's going to be huge, okay? So I want you to be able to go after with decision making, in the differences that evolve in your relationship or marriages. There's going to be differences, I think, allow people to be able to grow and evolve and to take a different look and a different perspective on their relationship, on their marriage, or life in general, right? What we maybe were raised with growing up, let's be honest, right? How many people thought their parents were always right, never would lie to them, were, they did everything right as parents? What age did you find out that wasn't true, right? That's not true. They might be right about a lot of things, right? But they're not right about everything. Or how they want you to live and how you want to live, they're different, right? They clash, they're differences. And what do you do with those, right? In a relationship, it's sort of the same aspect, right? Now you have to look at, can you really live with this? Is this really a big deal to me, or is it not? And if it's not, what do we do to find a middle ground and give a give and take? One situation, I mentioned this earlier, your partner, maybe you could care less about what your partner does with the room colors. We'll use that as an example, right? So you let that person have it. What car you pick out, the other one could really care less about it. And the other one wants it, you let that person have it, right? So if you really don't care about a decision that's being made, are you able to say that? Or are you one that just loves an argument and loves to create toxicity and tension in the relationship because it's more about you getting your way and more about pride and ego versus that you can't admit, it doesn't matter, it's yours, right? Well, I'm not going to be a baby. I'm not going to be controlled or dictated. There's a difference between being dictated to and being controlled in a relationship or marriage versus that, it's okay that you give that decision to your person once in a while, okay? It's not all about you, and it's not all about that person. It's looking at what is best for you. So look at the differences in your relationship and what creates the biggest issues between you two? Are you attacking your person, number one? Are you coming at that person? Or are you speaking from the heart and speaking, hey, what are your thoughts? I am thinking this, right? Big difference. It's a lot more easy. It's a lot more safe to talk about stuff than you trying to ram it down each other's throat and you're trying to belittle your partner. That's a dumb idea. That's stupid. Did you have your head up your ass? You get me? You don't want to belittle or demean. You want to ask out of care and out of curiosity. Hey, why do you disagree with me? What do you think? And there's some things, you know what? It could be a movie, right? One person thinks a movie was great. The other person thinks a movie was terrible. Who's right and who's wrong? You both are right. You both can have your opinion. Now, does it matter? And there's some couples that will fight about this because, right? Oh, I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was terrible. And they're arguing, fighting back and forth like it's a win or lose. Can't you just say, well, I'm glad you loved it, man. I'm glad you really liked the movie. I really didn't like it. Oh, I expect, I get that you didn't like the movie. Man, what a bummer, whatever. Why can't you do that? Right? You can talk about why you didn't like it, why you loved it, but why does it have to come down to a competition all the time, okay? So my voice is going. Like I said, it's been a rough few days. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I apologize if I'm all over the place and sort of babbling during this episode, but I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for watching and all the support I get. Please check out my website, theartofrelationships.org. You can find me social media all over the place under LoveGuruGreg. The recorded episodes of the show are always available on every listening platform. Just search for the Art of Relationships show. And peace and love to everybody out there. Everybody enjoy the rest of their Wednesday. Take care, people. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.